Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to get to those
Okay.
right now. Did Wally Hickel really fire a hotel manager and replace him with a window washer? I've heard this story too.
I don't know that story.
Help
me with that.
I've heard the story, but I don't know if it's true or not that the manager was being less than kind to a window washer and was fired and replaced with the window washer. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's...
Mom, help me. I don't know that one.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
You'll have to check on the website. Yeah. We'll verify. Is it true that after breakfast every day, Wally would throw his hands above his head and say, hip, hip, hooray?
Well, he would do that a lot. The first thing he did every morning was go to church. Really? Yeah, every morning. Went to church. Then he'd go to the office.
Well, it was right across the street.
Sure.
Did he pick out that spot to build the cook because the church was across the street?
Yeah, probably so. No, actually, because that's right where the fault was, pal. You know, so he says, I'm going to build right on the edge of the earthquake fault. That's the thing to do. Why not? I mean,
pick the right side of it. Yeah, they thought it was crazy to put it down there.
Sure. I mean, the basement was dug, wasn't it?
Oh, you don't want to let it go to waste, right?
That's right.
Here's a question, and don't feel like you have to answer.
Okay.
How did your dad feel at the end about Sarah Palin? How does your family feel about her?
Well, as everybody knows, he supported Sarah to run for governor. But, you know, things quickly kind of went sour there, didn't it? Sarah wasn't exactly the person that we thought she would be. Right now, you know, I don't think that there's any animosity between my family and Sarah Palin. There's just misunderstandings about the best way to go. You know, she, my opinion, I think she sold herself. And probably because there was money involved. I mean, she could make a lot more money doing what she's doing and a lot more exposure.
Well, at least she didn't pull the same stunt as a lot of other Alaska politicians and go cheap. You know, I was always offended by the Corrupt Bastards Club because I said, they're going so cheap. I would have bought them. The teachers union could have bought them at the bake sale.
Yeah, no kidding.
At least she went for high dollar.
She did.
Yeah. Is it true when Wally Hickel pointed the first black person as a judge, he said he didn't know he was black?
He could have. That would be something he would say. I don't know.
He wasn't a racist.
My dad? Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
He just, color didn't mean anything to him. It was character.
What's the situation for Sudan's economy and social situation? I think you've answered that. Do you have hope that this could really work?
I know it can work. If we can get their attention, if we can get in there and introduce the owner state idea, I think, and I don't want to, you know, blow this out of proportion, but it could really help prevent further animosity between the North and the South.
Do you think Louisiana could be an owner state? Or Texas or Florida? I think that they might be actually looking at that right now, thinking they had a little bit different deal.
I think they wish that they did have a little different deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in Alaska, at least we have these reserves from the oil, not just it on our beaches still.
That's right, I know.
And it's curious to me that you worked as a medical missionary.
Yeah.
And so much of this work of your dad's and what you're continuing to do in the Sudan is really the same thing. I mean, it's fighting poverty eventually, which creates better health, which is a tremendous mission.
You know, I have taken care of a lot of very impoverished people, and it's astounding. You know, there's nothing worse in this world. The hardest thing I've ever done is holding a baby in your arms and have him die of starvation. There is nothing more tragic than that because it doesn't have to happen. And it usually happens because there's a corrupt government and a corrupt economy that doesn't allow these people to have the food that they need. When that kid takes his last breath and dies because there's no food in his stomach, you will never be the same person. You'll never be the same. And that's what's happening right now all over Africa. It's happening in Nigeria, it's happening in Angola, it's happening in Congo, and certainly in Sudan. It's a wealthy country, but the people are not benefiting. But there's enough resources on this planet, I firmly believe it, enough resources on this planet so there doesn't have to be any poverty, any hunger. Like my dad was saying, if you use all the resources to benefit the people instead of governments, individuals, and corporations, there's no legitimate reason for poverty. And I believe that's the absolute truth.
You know, we're at the end of the show pretty much, but I wanted to say that I think when you have a parent who's in a position of service, my dad certainly wasn't the governor, but a principal of a school and giving to other kids and people, your dad gave so much to people your whole life, and thank you for sharing him with all of us.
Thank you.
And for carrying on the very best parts of him. I mean, the absolute best parts of him, you obviously are taking to this whole different level, and I think you just have to ask people to help you carry on that legacy. I know that they'll want to do that.
It's a privilege to be doing it. And really there's nothing more important than trying to do that, than trying to bring people out of poverty. What can be more important than that?
And you know, Africa is not a country, it's a continent.
It is. And if we can I've heard that before. Where'd that come from?
Sorry, couldn't help it.
I know you couldn't.
Oh, it was good.
If we can do it in Sudan, we can do it anywhere.
That's right.
And that's why we're working in Sudan now.
Well, thank you, and please keep us posted.
I will.
All right, thanks for being here. We'll
Thank
be back
you.
with more of this.